Hello YouTube, I'm done. It's over here today, and we are going to be doing an unboxing of SRG Super Show Rainbow Girl versus Terror Skull. The game going over, so that's really cool. This is a wrestling themed card game, and after tossing the box we're going to just flip it. And here's the back of the box. Welcome to the Legendary Fighting Federation, home of the Super Show, where you can live all your wildest wrestling fantasies without ever taking a chair shot. Aw, but that's the fun part, come on. We have gathered the world's greatest and kicked the jabronis to the curb in this exciting back-and-forth card and dice game. Choose your competitor from a roster of the toughest in the sport, has to offer and wrestle leads, follow-ups, and finishes for a chance to roll through the competition. Alright, this box set contains everything two players need to be part of the exciting, unpredictable event that is the Super Show. There's smaller text on here. This box contains 2 Super Show decks, each with 2 dice, 15 leads, 12 follow-ups, 3 finish, and crowd reactions. 2 Super Show competitor cards, 2 bonus competitors and their finish cards, Whippo Whip, and Miss Fury. Alright, that's cool. Game supports multiplayer with additional purchases and is compatible with all other SRG Universe Super Show box set, faction packs, and competitor sets. More info on srguniverse.com. And also, I've been in contact with the creator of this game, Steve Resk. I believe that's how we pronounce his name, and today is actually his birthday, so shout out to you. Thank you for this awesome mat to go along with this cool little game here. So there's some information there on the side, if my device will focus it. Oh, it gives a card list of the decks, it looks like. So that's pretty cool. Over here on the side, it's just a nice little display thing there. The top gives images. Alright, so that's cool. Alright, so let's open her up. Alright. So we did get it with just a thumb. So the saran wrap that's, keeps the box safe and protected from harm isn't too awful difficult to get through. It's got a nice little thumb tab for opening, which is nice to see. Alright. We've got the dice, and I can go over what those do in just a second. Got one of the characters, and other characters, and then another deck, and the characters for that. And there's the rule book. Nothing else left in the box. We'll set that over there. The instruction pamphlet, I guess, is one of these fold-out doohickeys. I prefer a book myself, but this isn't too big. I mean, heck, it fits on the camera. How many times can you say that for an instruction sheet that's this style? So yeah, you can see the rules here, and we will be doing some gameplay for this, of course. It's just a matter of, working around my work schedule and the kids being home for their schooling and all that kind of stuff. Which, by the way, if anybody out there wants to know, we maintain a school norm. School for the kids, even though it's all this distance learning through their computers and everything, starts at 8. And it ends at 3. That way they don't get too accustomed to being online, every minute of every day, like far too many young folks are these days. And I don't know, it doesn't seem healthy, in my opinion, for, that sort of internet usage. But they get their schoolwork done. They're both at the top of their grade, so that's really good. All right, so that would be the rules on their papers. So, yeah. Very cool. Fit all in one shot. That's pretty great. And we got the dice here, and each of these correspond to a color. And you'll see on these wrestler cards here, they have the stats. Each of these have the same symbol and stats, so when you roll the dice, that's the stat you use for the round. So each player has those. These are the extra players or the extra characters and their finishes, like it said in the box. So I'll just set that aside. We've got Rainbow Girl here, and Terror Skull. So that's pretty cool, and their decks are behind them here, so let's see what we can do about opening these things up. Just looks like it's regular shrink wrap. No pull tabbies or anything like that. So cool thing about those is you just, usually work with the corner here and you can pull the corner right off. Grab a hold of the plastic itself and the rest of it'll rip away easy. Yep. So that plastic is done and out of there. Rainbow Girl with Power 6, Technique 10, Agility 9, Strike 8, Submission 5, Grapple 7. When your opponent rolls power for their turn roll, draw a card. So, sort of a defensive ability. That's pretty cool. Alright, we'll put him up there. Go over the cards in this deck. 1-2 punch. This is a lead, and it's a strike when you play it. Alright, the object of the game is to get a lead, and then a follow-up, which... yeah, a lead, follow-up, and then you'll be able to play your finish. Now, you can play any number. You play one back and forth like that, rolling your dice in between every play. That way, whether you go first, your opponent goes first based on the stats rolled on the dice. But the object is to get a lead in play, get a follow-up in play, and then you can play your finish. Once you play your finish, activate its effects and all that kind of stuff, your opponent has a chance to roll the dice and whatever their skill values are. If they don't meet or exceed what your finisher's skill rating is, then they get pinned 1, 2, 3. Or they have 3 chances, just like in regular wrestling when you would get your pinfall or whatever. So for this Rainbow Girl deck, you've got a lead strike. When played, allows you to draw a card. A 2-handed toss, which is a grapple. 3/4 wrist lock, submission. Not a card draw, it seems. Cards that have stops. So when your opponent plays a card against you, lead, follow-up, whatever the case may be, if you have a card with stop in your hand, you can play that, and it would give you a lead in play, and it would also stop that effect and all that kind of stuff that your opponent would be playing. So if my opponent were to play this 1-2 punch as a lead, and I have this snap kick, play the snap kick, they have to discard their lead that they just played, and I now have a lead in play going towards, building towards my finish and all that kind of stuff. So any card with a stop can stop that type of card. So I believe that's how it goes. I'll go through the rules, and when we do our gameplay, it'll be more, the way it's supposed to be. But I believe if it's a stop on this card, it can only stop another lead. It can't stop a follow-up or anything like that. Or maybe it only stops the strikes or something. Because I see there's a stop on grapple. I could be wrong. We'll find out during gameplay. There's a lot of... I said 15 leads on the box and everything, so there's overrun, a takedown, grapple, apply pressure, submission. Alright. So now we're into the follow-ups. Next turn roll is +2, so that's pretty cool. That'll give you higher chances of going first and whatnot. So a lot of draw manipulation for this girl and trying to go first. So that's pretty good. There are combo potential, so if you have a submission in play, it starts chaining abilities and all that kind of stuff. Another follow-up strike, +1 to any submission you play. So yeah. She seems to be a submission chick. Interesting. Still in follow-ups. Ow. Alright, so lightning kick. Boss toss. Alright, now we're into the... Whoop. I'll just put those down there for now. Now we're into the finishes for this character. The Rainbow Road. So +3 power, +1 to strike, +1 to grapple. The Bubble Blaster finish. And Unicorn Ride. Okay, so that kind of looks like an octopus stretch kind of move. Yicky. Owie, that doesn't seem pleasant. But, yep, those would be the finishes to be used with this character. Every character, I guess, has their own unique 3 finishes, but the decks can be... I believe there's a customization to the decks that you can customize decks, but for this particular set, this deck is made to be used with her. And then probably the other light style character. So, like, the deck innately came with her, alright? So, you get a girl, and she can fight against the guys, no problem there, or she can fight against this other girl. So, you've got Darkness Dude, Darkness Girl, Rainbow Girl, and then probably a Rainbow Dude in here, too. So, all the power to them. Pretty cool, pretty cool. That way the decks can be played universally against whatever. Alright, so that's for Rainbow and her 3 finish maneuvers. Alright. Got a nice steel cage for them to have their first match in and all that kind of stuff, climb up into the cage and everything. Really cool mat. Love the idea, love the presentation of it. And most importantly, at least for me anyway, is the fact that it's small and it fits in my camera. So when we do our gameplay, you're going to be able to see this game in all its glory, from the rolling of the dice to, you know, the stats on the card. If I can, you know, put the character off to the side here, or maybe slide it up into the ring. And my opponent would obviously have their card up here, so it gives, you know, even more of the illusion that it's there, and we can play our cards down here, glare depending. But yeah, I'd be able to roll the dice, see everything right here on the mat. Really cool. And yep, now we'll do Terror Skull. Gotta find the end of it. Alright, so we got that ripped up. That means already the idea of this game, it seems simplistic, but I've been told there's a lot of back and forth and like real deep strategy to it, even though it looks kind of basic on the surface. But the fact is, when you start being able to figure out the ebb and flow and the chaining of how these things get played, what seem like simple things become very deep, very complex, and very cool. Alright, so we got Terror Skull with power 10, technique 6, agility 8, strike 9, submission 7, and grapple 5. Once per turn, roll. When your opponent rolls technique for their turn roll, you may force them to re-roll. So that's a pretty good back and forth denial ability. If you're playing against somebody with a high technique, you don't want them to roll it, so get the card out of there. Alright, so Terror Skull goes there. And now looking at their deck. 1-2 punch. Two-handed toss. 3/4 wrist lock. Snap kick. So a couple of similar cards and a couple of different ones, as you would expect. I mean, there's obviously basic cards that, you know, that's how things start off, but that's alright. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And the art, yes, the art's basic, but it does justice to the theming and all that kind of stuff, so I don't have any problem with that. The art style is unique to this game, so that's pretty good. It seems to be cohesive throughout. Arm bender. We're into the follow-ups. Double arm drop. That's funny. Looks like the Future Shock DDT, if I do say so myself. Nothing wrong with that. One of my favorite finishes ever. Even utilized it a bit in my backyard days. Karate kick. Top rope drop. Oh, another kicker hold. Youchie. Lightning kick. Boss toss. Alright, now we're into his specific finishes. Alright, so we've got the Reign of Terror. It's a strike finisher, +1 to agility, 3 to grapple. If your opponent rolled technique for their turn roll, this card is also a follow-up. Ooh. So you'll be able to play this earlier if your opponent rolls their technique. That's cool. Alright, so Terror Rising, 3 to submission, 2 to grapple. Looks kind of like a choke slam. Skull Crusher. Ooh, a vice grip. Nice. Alright, +2 to submission, 2 to grapple. Well, those are his 3 unique finishes. Pretty neato. And we'll open this extra pack for extra characters. Yeah, don't mind the dogs barking in the background. We got neighbors and on both sides, and they each have a fair amount of pets. I mean, we've got them too, but yep, surrounded. Yeah. Barks happen a lot. And this one's just not opening right. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to pull that off screen just a minute. There we go. Trying not to damage the cards while getting through this plastic. There we go. All right. So we've got Miss Fury, and she can go over here with this deck. Whip. Yep, another rainbow fella. That's pretty cool, He goes there. Flying Fury. Whipperoo. Alright, so that's one of his finishes. Loading would be there. Whiplash would go to him. Whippersnapper. Yes, Daddy. Alright, so 3 for her. And then 3 for the Rainbow Dude. And these are crowd meter cards. Alright, after you get to the position in this game where you can hit your finish, your opponent has 3 rolls to attempt to break that number and escape the pinfall. If they do, that's where these crowd meter cards come into play. Alright, so yeah, let's see. Don't know the mechanic fully, but from what I understand, after you do that, all finishes are +1. It signifies kind of like if you do your finish and your opponent kicks out of the finishes or whatever, then you're able to increase the damage of any finisher thereafter. If they do it again, +2, progressively making it harder to kick out of finishers, essentially. And then level 3, all finishes are +3. Level 4, level 5, if it ever gets that high, pretty crazy, right? Alright, so these are always off to the side here, and if somebody kicks out of a finish, then, it goes up until there's no more going up. And if they're lucky enough to still be kicking out after 3 finish attempts, I honestly don't know what would happen at that point. So, yep, that would be the SRG Super Show. And, yeah, all right. Have a good one, YouTube. Thank you. And Steven, again, happy birthday, man. Thank you for sending this. This is going to be awesome. We're going to get some gameplay up as soon as we can, find the time to do so. I greatly appreciate it. And, again, have a good day. Happy birthday. Have a good one, YouTube.